We're talking about The Barbarian. Came out in 2022. Let me look up the cast because I always forget which Skarsgård. Okay, Bill
Bill
Skarsgård,
Pennywise, the new Pennywise,
which,
the
by the way,
yummiest
in
one.
this movie, why was he kind of cute? And I was
Not kind of cute, not kind of cute.
okay,
Extremely. I've always thought Bill Skarsgård was so cute. He has a
right.
brother. Uh, I don't know. He was in True Blood.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's okay, and also, P.S. sidebar, how did I not know that who their dad is? So their dad is the
Stellan.
fame. How did I never put two and two together? Anyway, Bill Skarsgård, who played it, and he was magnificent as
Oh
it.
yeah,
Loved him.
he was good.
Justin Long, longtime horror favorite, from
He's
Jeepers
good in everything
Creepers.
he does. Everything, comedy, drama,
Love him.
horror, everything. Yeah.
Love him. Would have his babies. Georgina Campbell. I have to say that at least once in every video. Georgina Campbell, who played the main female, her name was Tess. Let's see, anyone else? Oh, Richard Brake, who played
Yes.
essentially one of the bad guys. And he's a famous scary movie guy too. You know how we were talking about those faces that just keep coming back?
Hmm.
He's one of those. He's an
He
older
was
fella.
in he was in Hannibal Rising, where the one where Hannibal Lecter, we kind of like learn his backstory about how he had to like eat his
Yep.
sister to survive. That was one of the guys that made him do that. That was such a good movie, such
Yeah.
a good character.
And he's one of those guys, he kind of always plays a really gritty, weaselly, creepy guy,
Yeah.
but he's so good at it, you love him.
Yeah.
Here's a fun fact. Kate Bosworth, who is Justin Long's girlfriend, plays Melissa, who is the girl that accuses him of.
Impropriety.
Okay, I wasn't
Yeah.
gonna say, yeah.
But
No
we don't
one
even
else.
see her in this movie, do we? I don't remember seeing her at all. They
No,
must have
I
cut it.
I think it's just a tongue in cheek kind of cute, like she was in the movie because they're boyfriend and girlfriend, and it's kind of
Oh,
funny,
maybe.
and yeah. I think that's kind of it. But no, I didn't hate it. In fact, I loved it and I laughed so hard at the end. I was like, I know why Mallory likes this movie. Who directed this? Let's see. Let me
Zach
let me
Krager, and he wrote it too. I don't really know who that is. I don't really.
I think he's a newbie guy. I want to say.
I feel like I recognize his face though.
Yeah,
Like
let's see.
he's been in stuff.
Yeah, we're doing our Wikipedia search right now, so like everybody just chill out.
I know. I'm sorry. I
Um,
didn't do much research on
oh,
this.
how funny. He's a Twitch streamer.
Maybe that's why I've seen him before.
Um, okay, so he was in The
Flipping
Whitest
in
Kids
and
You
out.
Know, Friends with Benefits, Guys with Kid, Rex. So he's done quite a bit of like comedy. Cool. Okay, so this is like his. How cool. Yeah, he's done a lot of comedy, which makes sense because this movie is pretty funny.
It's
In
pretty
the
good.
way that in the good way that we like it to be funny, like it's
Smart, funny.
ironically funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, um I don't know how you came across the movie. I don't know why you told me to watch it. I'm so glad you did.
I came across it because remember I was telling you that I was forcing myself to watch things that I
Yeah.
had never seen. So I just literally went in alphabetical order, and that was like one of the first ones
Yeah.
that I came across, and I was like, I guess such a good surprise.
Okay, so let's get into the plot just a little bit because it was very interesting. I sort of love the way it kicked you out of a movie and sent you into a completely different movie. And let me explain what I mean by that. Okay. So you start off with Tess. She shows up to an Airbnb that she's booked.
Hmm.
It is apparently double booked by a Bill Skarsgård character. So his name's Keith. Keith and Tess are there. And the whole intro, she decides to stay with him, stay the night. He has a nightmare. Everything is pointing to him as like creepo, gonna torture her, gonna kidnap her, gonna do something.
Yeah.
And it totally broke my neck because that's not what happened at
Not at
all.
all. not at all.
And I was so mad at you. I was like kicking my bed. So they stay one night together, and she has an interview in the city. They're in Detroit, by the way, which is like very ironic in this whole
Yeah.
scene. So she has like an interview in the city, and the whole time, the whole first 20 of minutes of the movie, you are screaming at this girl because she's done everything wrong.
Yeah.
She didn't check the satellite map on the house. She decided to stay with this guy who they decided to share for one night. She decides to have wine with him.
Yeah.
She every possible turn, and I texted you and I was like, I'm gonna pull her hair. I'm ripping my hair out. Every decision that every female ever makes in a movie that we're like, what are you doing? She
Yeah.
makes. But here's the funny part. That's not what happens in the movie at all.
God, no. Not even
Oh
close.
my gosh. Okay. So they stay the night. She goes to her thing. She gets back to the house. It's empty. He's not back. She sees, or I don't remember why she discovers the basement.
I don't remember either. I think maybe she just hears noises or something like that. I
Right.
can't even remember why.
Right. So the only time we know that there's another person in the house is when Keith has a nightmare. She goes out to check on him, which we're like, what are you doing? Every time.
I know.
And she doesn't see it, but the viewer sees a little shadow go and then the door closes. So
Yeah.
you know there's like, hold on, like
Somebody.
somebody.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, oh, Keith has a friend and this is a
A
setup.
rape buddy.
He has a buddy. This is a setup. They're going to take her down to the torture room. Every girl's worst nightmare. She somehow winds up in the basement, somehow finds this little latch to this little hallway, finds this room that has a camera and a bed, and immediately we're all just like, get out, get out.
Yeah, get out.
She keeps going.
She finds another hallway behind like a secret wall
Keith, yeah.
door.
So Keith finally comes back. And the whole time we're like, Keith is the killer. Keith is the killer. What are you doing? Get out of there. No, Keith was not the killer. Keith
Mm-mm.
wasn't even in the picture. Keith was an innocent bystander.
Mm-hmm.
So she's telling Keith, oh my gosh, there's like this room downstairs and there's a bucket. And he's like, a bucket? You know, he's just like an innocent, you know, like he's like, you're insane. At this point, we're like, oh, he's lying to her.
Yeah.
He knows. But in hindsight, when you watch that again, you're like, Keith is looking at her like she's insane.
Yeah.
And she sounds insane. Okay. So I've taken us this far. So now Keith goes down to the basement. I'll let you take it from here because
Oh God,
quite
now
literally the film cuts. There's a cut. And then we see Justin Long in a red convertible. It was the best day of my life.
Well, okay, so now it cuts to Justin Long, who is an actor
Oh, wait,
in,
wait, wait, wait.
in Hollywood.
Keith, wait, do we say what happened to Keith?
Well, Keith gets literally dragged down this hall. He gets taken away by something. We don't really know what it is. It's just some sort of like monster looking thing. He gets dragged away. And then she decides to, for whatever reason, keep looking for him. Instead of grabbing her keys and driving away and getting the cops, no, she's like, you know what? I'm just gonna do a little look-see-loo.
Yeah.
And maybe I could find him.
And this was like the
So
12th time that she had the opportunity to take her stuff and
get
go.
away. I know.
Tess. Anyway.
So anyways, it cuts to then it cuts to after they both get like captured down there, right? They're both at least Bill was captured. What's his name?
So Bill's dead. Bill. So Keith is dead.
Oh yeah, he's dead for sure, right? Yeah,
She
he's
sees
dead
him,
for sure.
She sees him get mauled by this creature
Mhm.
lady. And we don't know what happens to her because quite literally the filmmaker was like, and cut.
Oh, that's right. It ends where we don't know if she's actually going to leave or get captured, but more than likely she's going to get captured. So, because they really went down like a long hall that it was literally goes underground and there's like different like
it was the Underground Railroad for sure.
Yeah, for Detroit. Yeah, seriously. It was crazy. So Then we cut to the part with Justin Long. He's like an actor in Hollywood. He's like living the life. He's getting all these parts. He gets a call from his agents, and his agents are like, "You've been accused of basically like everything that happened in the Me Too movement. Like you've been
Right.
accused of raping this girl while working with her. You know, the people that you wanted to work with don't want to work with you anymore." And basically he goes through like this whole like this time period of maybe like a couple of weeks, maybe, where he's like selling off his houses
Yeah.
and his boats and his cars, trying to get money just to pay for legal fees. Turns out that he is actually the owner of the Airbnb that Keith and Tess were attacked in. So he goes to Detroit to kind of survey it to see about selling it. When he gets there, he's going downstairs to like look at everything, taking pictures, trying to figure out how big this house is. He finds the crazy room with the bucket and the
Yeah.
camera and the stained bed. Like a typical guy, he doesn't really think about the creepy stuff. He's like, oh, another room, more
Yeah.
square footage. I can make more money. And then he finds the creepy hallway and he's like,
Yeah.
even more square
Yeah.
footage.
Oh my
And he's
gosh,
like,
I was laughing so hard.
oh
Again,
man.
he's oblivious.
Yeah.
He walks in,
Oblivious.
he's like, whose stuff is this?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't call the cops, doesn't
Mm-mm.
really like work very hard to find out like
No.
what the heck is going on. Happens to find the basement, happens to find the hallway, and is like, pulls out a tape measure,
Uh-huh.
starts literally measuring the hallway, the creepy rooms. They just keep going, the stairway, and I'm sitting there
Uh-huh.
laughing
Oh
so
my.
hard because he's like, "Oh yeah!" Every time he finds a room, he's like, "Tack it on, baby."
Mm-hmm. He's just all he cares about is the money. He did not even realize that he's backing butt first into danger. Like
Literally,
seriously.
yeah.
So he finally gets down there, and then finally he starts like hearing weird things and like
Hmm.
seeing weird things, and it finally starts clicking. Too late. He gets captured by this naked white lady
Oh
thing.
my gosh.
It's like a woman, man, naked.
I
She's got
don't. She's
boobs.
like old and decrepit,
Mm-hmm.
saggy boobs. She's naked,
Yeah,
like
it's
your
crazy.
worst nightmare
Yeah.
come to
He
life.
gets he gets thrown in like this dungeon hole thing with a grate over it. Turns out Tess is in there with him.
Oh my
She's
god,
been in there for a little bit.
the bottom.
Um yeah, then they're in there and the creature puts down this crusty old baby bottle
My
and it
gosh.
wants them. Basically it's like this creature that thinks it's their mother
Yeah,
wants to feed them.
yeah.
She drinks from it. She's telling him, just drink from it and it'll
She's
go
like,
away. Just drink from it.
just drink it. And
Yeah.
it is an listen, even I had to like figure out what she was holding for a second because I was like, what am I looking at? I forgot in the 70s they did glass bottles
Yeah.
and the top was like a condom, for lack of a better word, that went
Yeah.
down over the top and
Mhm.
sealed, and it was like a rubber, flimsy rubber tip, and that's
It almost looked like one of those bottles that they feed baby cows with in a way. It
yes,
had like
yes,
that same shape.
yeah. And that's what she's so this creature's like holding this down, and she's like, "Papa, papa, papa." I'm telling you, I love this movie so much. That's all she says. The only word she says in the whole movie is "baba."
Yeah,
Okay.
basically. And then she Tess drinks from it because she's like, she already knows the deal. She already knows the game. She's like, I'm gonna play because I want to live.
Yeah.
But of course, Justin, he's like, he won't drink from it. So that provokes the creature to grab him, take him out, and drag him down the hall where she proceeds to try to breastfeed him because
Oh
she
my.
thinks baby needs to eat. Baby must be
Yeah.
hungry.
And there's one creepy room
It's like
in
a
the hallway.
yeah.
You kind of realize because of this room that this lady's been down there. Like
Oh
that
yeah, for a
something's
while.
weird, something's off. And you do find out the backstory, but the only video that's playing on this 16-inch like tube TV is a mother breastfeeding
Yeah, it's like a breastfeeding instructional video, like
from
how to
like the
breastfeed your baby.
70s.
Yeah. So he and her are in there. Tess manages to crawl out. because I guess that maybe the lady doesn't close the gate all the way when they leave, like the little grate to
Yeah.
go out.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
she had like left it open so Tess like works her way out,
out, yeah.
sneaks past the like
Sneaks
room.
past them and finally gets out of the house. It's like, yeah, did the creepy milk finally get to you? Okay, finally get out of the house.
Yeah.
So she finally gets out, tries to tell the police stuff. Of course, the police don't believe her because the whole story's
Oh my
crazy, you
gosh.
know?
And
And also,
she's all dirty and like
yeah, and she
disheveled.
looks like a homeless person because
Yeah.
this Airbnb was actually in a neighborhood where every other house in the neighborhood was
Yeah.
decrepit and run down
Yeah.
and completely abandoned.
And honestly, this is why I said it was so funny that they had Detroit as the city because
Yeah,
Detroit parts of Detroit's are extremely rough. So the cops come out and they're like, "Bro, whatever you're on,
we don't have the time for it.
clean
Yeah,
yourself up, okay? We're not
yeah,
going in this house. You don't even have the key." You're so pissed off at them, but you
yeah,
understand what they're looking at her and they're
yeah.
like, "Dude, you're a crackhead."
Yeah, she looks and is talking like a crackhead. I mean, she's
Yeah.
saying crazy, unbelievable things.
Yeah.
So then she's like, okay, well, like, she's gonna have to handle it herself. So she basically like arms herself a little bit, goes back down there to try and help, I'm guessing, that guy. Before she gets there, we sort of learn like the backstory as to how this happened, right? Oh, no, no. She actually does free, no, Justin frees himself. Justin gets away a little bit
Yeah.
and he
But
gets away from the lady.
but you're right. So like it's another cut to where it shows the neighborhood in like the 1950s,
60s or
60s,
something. Yeah.
and you see the original owner, which is the older guy, the guy that we like. He's the owner of the house, and he's psychotic, and he
Hmm.
basically has been he had babies and then had babies with those babies and then had
Yeah.
babies with those. So he was like inbreeding with his own
Yeah.
granddaughters and keeping them down there. So this creature is one of his
It's like the only
granddaughters or
one that
something.
survived to
Right.
adulthood and
And
beyond.
she's all like, I think the way they explained it is basically like she's an abomination. Like she's
Mhm.
freakishly strong and weirdly tall and like all because of all the incestuous, whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't remember oh, the bum guy. So the
Oh
the
yeah, there's a
cops leave. He comes to tell her like, you can't go back in that house, don't you understand? Like I have to live by the water tower, and like
Mhm.
that's when you realize like this lady's been terrorizing this house for like a long time, and
Yeah,
like,
and the bums know it, which is why they don't really hang out there at night,
yeah.
which is why that bum had before earlier in the movie been trying to warn her, but honestly, who listens to a bum, you
But
know?
again, she could have just so she busts open the window. So now the cops have gone. She busts open the window and we're like, "Yes, get your keys and go." She goes to save him.
Because I mean, I get it. Like she
No,
knows she probably
no.
won't be able to live with herself.
I'll tell you why no. And this is why I liked her in the very, very end. She was able to redeem herself.
Hmm.
But I would have got my keys. I would have got in my car. I would have driven. I would have taken my stuff with me. I would have driven to the police station, the courthouse, somewhere, and said, "Look, this is what's going on at this address. I couldn't save him. Maybe you guys can." Something. It was like she was so
Okay, I get it.
she
Yeah.
couldn't call a friend. She couldn't call her mom. Like, was she cut off from the world? No, she just needed to get her keys and her cell phone. And I was like slamming the bed, like, you freaking idiot. She goes back in the
Yeah.
house to save this guy.
Yeah. We find out that Justin has kind of gotten away. He's escaped a little bit. He's made his way like literally even farther down the halls and stuff. Runs into the original owner who's now probably nearing 100. He's like
He's like
in a
in his
room.
bed all
Yeah, he's like
decrepit.
in a room with his bed. And Justin's like, "Oh my God, he doesn't know who he is. He thinks
No,
he's just another person stuck." So he's kind of trying to help him. He gives him like some water or something or some liquor. I don't remember what it was.
vodka, straight
Yeah,
vodka.
something like that. And then he kind of turns around and looks at this TV area in front of the guy, and he realizes that this guy has been like recording uh and basically he figures out what this guy's been doing, like how evil
Yeah.
he is.
Keeping the
And
women captive
yeah,
and torturing
yeah, doing
them.
all
Just
those things. Yeah.
disgusting. Yeah.
So then somehow the old guy, while Justin's kind of like figuring this all out, has finally been able to reach this bedside table that is near him, because Justin had kind of moved it closer to him so he can access the water or vodka, whatever, better. Reaches inside the dresser and pulls out a gun. We think, oh crap, he's going to shoot Justin. No, he shoots his head off. Kills himself.
Like I was confused because maybe he just at that point was like, there finally someone has found us out
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna put myself out of my misery. But like I was confused why he wouldn't shoot Justin first and then himself. But whatever. That's just me.
Dramatic drama.
Yeah.
So then Justin's freaking out. Then he actually
Takes
makes it out.
takes the
He makes it
gun.
out. Takes the gun, makes it out, runs into Tess along the way. They start running like
Well,
up
he
the
shoots
road.
her.
Oh, that's right. He did shoot her.
I'm like, hold the phone. This
He
is the
shoots her.
whole
But he didn't know who she was. He
the
thought she was
whole
the crazy girl.
sexual
Yeah.
assault was a preamble to like, is he caught up in a ridiculous thing? Is he really a bad guy?
Well, we find out he is. He actually
He
kind of
is.
admits to it.
He
Yeah.
he literally, so he shoots Tess by accident, but they finally get out of the damn house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only to quite literally be chased, and it the ending was so rushed. That was the only problem I had with it.
Oh, really? You felt like it was rushed?
I felt like the ending was rushed. I felt like so they get out of the house, but they like don't have keys, don't have a plan. I don't really understand.
Well, I think because by the time they escaped, she still didn't have her keys, the dummy. She still couldn't get into the car.
Right.
So they're just running. They're just running for their lives. And she's like, I know a way out, because she had already gone out and been at a
Yeah.
gas station trying to get help, and nobody's
Yeah.
helping her. So, but then by that time she's in so much pain and stuff that they get to a certain point and the bum's like, no, you got to get off the road, because he sees them. You got to get off the road, and he takes them to his hiding spot. He's under the impression that it's safe there because the lady has never gone that far. It is not safe there.
It was so funny because it was such a comedy moment. He was like, oh, she know damn well she can't get in here.
Yeah.
And then the wall behind him just crashes.
It's like the Kool-Aid man. It's like the Kool-Aid man.
Hey! Yeah. She comes crashing through the wall. And then this made me laugh. Rips his arm off and beats him with his own arm.
Oh my God.
Mallory, I was in tears. I was laughing so hard. Like she wasn't scary. She was funny almost.
I was scared of her. Honestly, I was freaked out. It was funny-ish to me, but it still like surprised me when she came through the door, and I was like, oh no, she's gonna drag him back down there.
Okay.
And I was freaked out.
I'll agree with you. She was creepy up until she wasn't. Like in the beginning when you first see her, she's like a figure in the night and like in the dark and in the tunnel, and she like comes at you out of nowhere, and she is creepy, and that's why I was like, oh, this is gonna be so scary. And then she wasn't creepy anymore. She was just like a weird creature, like trying to feed
was kind of sad.
Bottle. Yeah, like I almost felt bad for her.
I did towards the end. I felt bad for her. Well, basically, so she beats to death the bum with his own arm. They start running again. They try to get up the water tower that they were hiding under. She gets up to the top. Justin, of course, he's a douche, so he sacrifices Tess. He's like, "Go get your baby," and
oh my gosh, he shows his true colors.
Oh, for sure.
He takes Tess by the hair.
Oh yeah, he just tosses her
off the side, and the creature's like, baby, and jumps off the side. And then the ending was too much for me. So, do you want to tell the ending, or do you want me to
You tell it.
Okay. So Tess has been bludgeoned fed breast milk from who knows when, shot, slammed her car into the house, beat
Yeah.
up. She flies off this thing, and we're for sure like, oh, she's dead, like a
She's dead. It's
hundred
a
percent.
water tower. Yeah.
And there's blood everywhere. He gets down there. Somehow the creature had twisted her body so the Tess landed on her body. So Tess is alive.
Mm-hmm.
Justin goes down there with, like, I don't even know why he went down. Like, he was trying to figure out if he was a good person, and he was a douche.
Yeah.
He goes down and he's like, "Oh my gosh, Tess, you lived. See, I didn't throw you off. You slipped." And you're like,
I know. He's like trying to gaslight her.
and the whole time I'm like, "Tess, you better find the gun and shoot him."
Yeah,
Right?
seriously.
So Tess comes to, the monster comes to, and the monster is so mad. Now, this part made me laugh because it made me think of like Nightmare on Elm Street, or like any of those real gory movies. She wakes up, comes to, and she's pissed. And
Yeah.
she's like, "You tried to hurt my baby." She takes his head and rips it in half, like
Mm-hmm.
gouges out his eyes, rips it in half, and
Like it's an avocado.
oh my gosh, like I've never seen someone with so much strength.
Yeah.
And so she does that, and then she goes to Tess, and this is where you kind of feel like they get redeemed. She's trying to help Tess, and Tess is like, "I can't, it hurts too bad." And so Tess looks over, realizes the gun's there, and Tess is like, she has to kill her.
Yeah.
So Tess like points the gun at her cheek, and then the creature's like, "Baby, Baba,
Aw.
like do it." And then finally she shoots her, and like
Kills
that's the
her
end.
one last time. Yeah.
Yeah. I loved it.
I was so
Loved
good.
it.
It was so
Loved
good.
every minute of it. It was my dream of horror comedy. The douche guy gets what's coming to him.
Mhm.
The dumb girl makes all the wrong decisions but still lives. I loved it, and I hate you for making me watch that. That's my review of that. I wish everybody would go see this movie, like for sure.
Yeah, it's on what is it, HBO Max or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, I was so pleased by it because like I'm so jaded nowadays. I just don't like anything. So when
I
I
know.
actually enjoyed this, I was like, "Oh man." And it really gave me hope for other movies. So that's
Yeah.
why I've just kept going. So I'm like, you know what? If I have to watch 10 horrible movies just to come across one gem like this, I'm
Yes.
gonna keep doing it.
Okay, so
Worth it.
I don't want to run out of time, but so this guy that made this movie, I want to get his name. So Zach Kreger is the name of this guy. Um, I want to see more from him. I think I think he's got a very specific point of view with the comedy and the irony
Mm.
and the creepiness, because she was creepy. That creature was creepy.
Yeah, he knew how to do it. He knew
Yeah.
how to make it creepy.
I want to see more from this guy. I think he's gonna make some good stuff. But he does come from a comedic background, so I'd be interested to kind of see him go a little bit darker, maybe.
Well, that's yeah. I mean, I'd enjoy it. I think it helped that Bill Skarsgård was an executive producer. He probably helped with the creepy part.
Okay. And back to Bill Skarsgård. He
Oh my
is
God, your dog behind you just scared the crap out of me.
Jenny
I thought it was Mama.
she's been sleeping behind me this whole time.
Oh,
I loved Bill Skarsgård in this movie. He's adorable.
so adorable. So
Like,
sad.
I had a white girl crush on him so bad. Like,
I
like
was like,
you're
I'll drink your
adorable.
wine. If it's spiked, it's cool. I'll drink it.
No, and he was like, so like I kind of realized, like, you didn't see me open it, so like of course you're
Yeah,
gonna be
it's so
he
sweet.
and the way he did it made the premise was that he was the bad guy. So you were like, quit dawdling. Quit,
Yeah,
you're doing this now. And then you realize he was innocent, and you're like, okay, he's adorable.
he's adorbs. I
I
know.
love it. I loved it. Did you watch this by yourself?
I did. I watched it by myself. I forget, but it was during the day.
Oh,
It was during the day, so I didn't get super scared. I mean, but it still creeped me out. It still did.
yeah. It was good. It was interesting, and then also like he literally cut the film. He literally cut. It was like a black screen and then Justin Long in the car. And I
Hmm.
don't know why, but that's when I texted you. I was like, freaking bitch ass Justin Long. Like, what the heck?
I think it just makes it more jarring. It just makes it's like saying like because you're in one crazy universe with all this crazy going on, and then all of a sudden, bam, you're in California where things are normal. So it just makes it more like more
Oh,
jarring to get thrust into that new scene.
I didn't even I didn't even think of that. Yeah, like it kind of throws you off the scent of
Yeah. Hmm.
that makes so much sense because that's exactly what happened. I was like, wait, at first I was like, did I push the remote? Like
Yeah.
I thought
Hmm.
I clicked the remote and I was like, oh no, this is the same. Okay. I was like, is
Yeah.
this an ad?
I know.
I was like,
I know.
wait. I was like, did I put is this a freebie? Did I put ads in this? You know what I'm talking you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, it was a really really good pick. Now we just have to decide um cuz we still have to finish the Wes Craven, man.
I
Like we
know. We got
keep
to
talking
decide
about
on a
it.
new Wes Craven next week.
Yeah.
So,
What's your official rating for this one?
oh, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. They did
Yeah,
not miss.
for sure. Like 10
I
out of
wish I would have
10.
seen it in theaters. I'm pissed I didn't see it. I seen it. It came out in theaters, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's gonna be so stupid." So my dumb mistake. I wish I would have seen it in theaters.
Okay, hang on though. You just saw the new Insidious. I
So,
think we should talk about that. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna go see
oh,
it.
are you gonna go watch it?
I'm
I
gonna go
would
see it.
literally
You
watch it
said it was
again.
really good.
Yeah, I would go play more money to watch it again. That's how good it was,
Okay,
and I
then that's what
never
we're
do
talking about next time. There's no way.
that. Okay.
Because my obsession with Patrick Wilson is really inappropriate. Like I'm disgustingly obsessed with this
I
man.
was telling my husband the other day, I feel like he is the father of horror now
Yes.
because he's like in all the
And in
good
a
ones.
non corny
Oh yeah, no,
takes it seriously and is like
yeah,
a really good actor
yeah, kind
guy.
of like Dee. I think her name was Dee Wallace.
Yeah.
She was the mom on ET. She was in like Cujo,
Yes.
the mom from Cujo. She was like the mother of horror in the 80s. I don't really know who would be the mother of horror now, but
Yeah.
Patrick Wilson is definitely the father of horror for like the 2020, well,
Yeah.
2000s, I would say. You know, like
And
all
I
that.
was just reading a quickly an article about him. You know, his scary movies are the highest grossing other than the Scream franchise. So his credibility and like the what he brings because he's such a good actor makes those movies so good. Him and what's her name? Vera or what's the
Vera
lady?
Farmiga.
Vera Famiga. They just they're such good actors, and so the movies are so loved. So
Hmm.
yes, I think we should talk about the new Insidious one because
Yeah,
I'm gonna go see
he
it this
directs
weekend.
it. That's why it was so
I know.
great. But here's my thinking. I watched all four of them before I watched that the
Yeah,
fifth one.
yeah.
Watch at least you need to watch at least one, two, and four.
Okay.
Just to refresh your
Well,
memory so
he's
that
not
when
in the
these
third
happen.
one, right?
No, they're not in the third
No.
one. It's sort of like an off take. I still love it, but definitely watch one, two, and four just to refresh your memory on like the red
Yeah,
door, the
yeah,
because I went with my friend and she has seen them before, but she was kind of like, I don't remember this, and I kind of had to explain things to her, and she was like, oh yeah, I forgot.
yeah.
So
No,
refresh
I'm
your
gonna go
refresh
see it.
yourself.
I think we should talk about it next time.
Yeah.
Um, honestly, like because I trust you. If you say it's good, I know I'll enjoy it. Like
People clapped at the end. That's how good it was.
my
Yeah.
heart.
People clapped.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's do that next time. You want to sign us out?
Okay. Oh, okay.
What are our names? What are we? Who are we?
Oh, this has been freaking scary with Holly and Mallory.
Oh.
Don't go in the basement. Don't drink the crusty breast milk. Bye.